We're having chicken jerky that's killing thousands of pets. We can't identify the source of the contaminant that's still killing pets. That's scary.
After the 2007 recall, another mysterious illness began to plague dogs all across the country. It was soon discovered that consumers who purchased various brands of chicken jerky treats to reward their dogs were actually poisoning their pets instead. Owners were devastated to find their dogs either sick or dead after consuming these so-called treats.
We went to PetSmart, and my wife was looking at the treat aisle there, and she saw dehydrated jerky, chicken treats. And she's like, well, why don't we try these? This is the only thing I see is just in chicken. So I agreed, and we brought it home and we fed it, and didn't take long before we saw big changes.
And what stands out in my mind from buying them that day is that I looked at the bag and they appeared wholesome. They really had this almost organic, good for you feel about the packaging. And so we grabbed 3 packages. It was around Christmas time that we bought them, and we put them all in the stockings for the dogs. So I remember getting them because they looked so good for the dogs.
We believe your dog deserves treats made with the same quality of ingredients and care that you want with your food. Created by people who love dogs. No artificial colors, no artificial flavors or fillers. And the list ingredient is very short. The packaging just looks like looks like they've put a lot of thought into it, and it looks like they care about their animals. It looks like it's real food and nothing artificial. And there's just a kitchen home-style dog. So you just would lend you to think that it's healthy, or it's more natural. It's like a jerky that almost looks like human jerky.
While Callie was at the vet, I knew that she had eaten the Milo's treats. So while she was there, I went online and I started researching, and I was sick to find that there was just this huge amount of information about these chicken jerky treats. It was Milo's, it was Canyon Creek, it was Wagon Train. There were dead dogs, there were dying dogs, dogs with just crazy problems from them.
The American companies selling the chicken jerky were all sourcing their treats from one single manufacturing facility in China, even though they were labeled and sold as several different brands, a practice known as white labeling. Over a span of years, the companies involved strongly denied that their products were causing any such harm, even though thousands of complaints were pouring in from their consumers.
Since 2007, the FDA has extensively tested many brands of chicken jerky treats, including ours. That testing has identified no contaminants and no definitive cause linking these products to reported illnesses in dogs.
In the initial stages of backlash, companies tried to get consumers to sign non-disclosure agreements, which would have barred consumers from legally speaking about the death of their pets. A way to silence the very victims this had happened to, Del Monte offered money in exchange for signatures, but their bribery backfired. Offended pet owners refused the money, even banding together on a Facebook page to share their stories and information to try and get the products recalled from the store shelves.
And when I came down in the morning, I checked on her, and she was breathing and she was sleeping. And I went upstairs to take a shower, and I heard her food bowl go across the floor. And I go, oh, well, Callie's up. And I took a shower, and then I came back downstairs, and she was dead.
This is that fast. Yeah.
Went to move her.
There was blood everywhere. She had been bleeding out of her chest, and her mouth opened, and she was bleeding out of her mouth and her nose. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen.
Well, I lifted her up, and my hand was just covered.
So when I called Del Monte, I received a woman at I presume their call center, and it was almost scripted, her response to me.
Any reports out there with dogs becoming sick or dying or anything from our Milos. The FDA did step in. They did extensive amount of testing. They did a 17-step process, in reference to our treats. There has not to this day been any link to any of those reports that consumers put on the internet, nor has there been any contaminants found. That's why they are still on the market today as we speak, and we do stand behind the product. Dogs can get sick from any new treat, any type of food that's new to them, as far as, death or anything like that. Like I said, anything that has ever been reported, the FDA did step in, and there's never been any contaminants or any link to any of those illnesses with a treat.
It was crystal clear that the products were not coming off the shelf anytime soon. So my next call was to my local ABC station.
Rachel Chambers of Morgan Hill lost her dog Callie yesterday morning. She says it was a sudden and painful death.
The vet found that she died after her stomach twisted and ruptured, but it remains undetermined what caused that to happen.
According to the FDA, nearly 1,000 pet owners have complained about this product.
Despite the FDA warnings, the treats are still on shelves at Target, Walmart, Costco, Petco, and PetSmart.
And admittedly, it's somewhat frustrating because we haven't been able to find a problem with the product. We say, yes, there are sick animals. We believe there's strong evidence it's associated with it, but when we go look at the product, and we've tested for numerous things, and we haven't been able to find anything that would suggest that this product right here, there's a problem with.
Sometimes toxic ingredients are a combination of things. Sometimes a toxic ingredient, is when you mix this with that, and then that creates the problem. So if you're looking for just one thing, it's hard to know what that is.
The chicken jerky issue lasted until 2013, nearly 6 years after the first complaints were made. Upon investigation, the New York State Department of Agriculture discovered illegal traces of antibiotics in the treats. Even though it couldn't be proven that the antibiotics had directly caused the deaths of the pets, it was a technical adulterant needed for the State Department to force these companies to withdraw the products in question from the shelves.
The trace amounts of antibiotic residue found in these samples are not linked to the FDA's ongoing investigation of chicken jerky products. And again, the trace amounts of antibiotic residue do not pose a health or pet safety risk.
It has damaged my trust. I don't trust companies anymore. They don't care about me. They care about my money. And that's a terrible thing.
When